everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be doing another reading vlog. Last time I rolled a die and I let the die choose my next read. I'm going to be making another list, rolling the die, and see what book I should be picking up next. Last time I did this, I read Milk Fed by Melissa Broder, which was kind of a letdown. So I'm hoping that the second time around I get a good book to read. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and pile up some books, make a list, and roll the die and see what comes up. In this list, I did basically include repeats from the last video because these are the same books that I'm wanting to read. As you can see, I picked my books, made the list, I rolled the die, and came out to the number 11. And on that list, number 11 is Hidden Pictures by Jason Recula. Now this one I've been very pumped for. This book is quite interactive. As you can see, there are pictures throughout the book. And if you can tell, the darker pages are all pictures within the book, and have been especially excited because on the top, Stephen King said that he loved this book. I personally really enjoyed doing this whole rolling the die because it's kind of like you don't know what you're gonna get. Like all of these books, I've been very excited to pick up, but of course I can't pick them all up at the same time. I mean, I could, but I won't. And so just kind of letting this little die choose for me is very exciting for me, especially like the moment when I'm rolling, I just don't know what I'm gonna get. But I'm gonna go ahead and get started on reading Hidden Pictures. I'm hoping that this one is a success, unlike the last episode of this series was just a fail. I was really pushing myself to finish that book, and hopefully this is quite the opposite, so we will see. I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this and give you an update maybe about 1/3 of the way through again, like how I usually do, and then I will let you guys know. I have so many questions. This book is really good. I read 1/3 of the way, which is up to page 130, and it was like perfect timing because right on the third half of this book, something like huge happens, like this new discovery. And so last night I was reading this, I was on my bed, I was getting a little sleepy, it was like 11 p.m, but I just could not put this book down, and I wanted to read up to the 1/3 so that early in the morning the next day, today, I could update. I'm loving this book. Like, it's just so eerie. We have gotten a hint of what might be happening. It is kind of like a paranormal type of book. I really like the interaction that we get within this book. So far we follow Mallory, who is a recovering addict. She is about 18 months sober or so, and she has this interview with this family who needs someone to babysit their son while he is on summer break. So he hasn't started school yet. He just moved to this new town, the family did. And so she interviews with this family, with the parents, and she is giving a chance to babysit for the summer. So first of all, Teddy, which is the kid in this book, he is about to start kindergarten, so he's about 4 or 5 years old. He's the sweetest. He's this big sweetheart. He reminds me of my nephews, and he loves to draw, which is something that he just started doing when they first moved into this house. So the drawings is what we get throughout the book, and the illustrators of these drawings did a very good job of depicting like what a 4 or 5-year-old would draw. I was actually in the process of getting certified to teach elementary, and I ended up not going through that route because I discovered it wasn't something that I wanted to do, but I did learn a lot about elementary kids and what the stages of development are. So I think the pictures do a really good job of this. I don't want to spoil anything, but I am on chapter 11, page 130, and something interesting just came up, and like I said, I have so many questions. I'm excited to read. Like, it was so hard to put down last night, but I said, you know what, this is 1/3 of the way, it's getting late, it's a good time for me to put this down, or else I'm gonna stay up all night reading this. I'm actually going to do what I did last time with reading intervals or reading sprints. So what I'm gonna do is read for 30 minutes, and then I want to edit for 30 minutes, and then I want to journal for 30 minutes, and then repeat. And I really like doing sprints because it's a good way for me to like pace myself, so that I don't get bored of one thing and I don't overwhelm myself with one certain thing. I am nice and cozy inside. I don't have anything to do all day. I'm just gonna be home reading, journaling, and editing. So it's gonna be a good day. I'm really excited. It is like 8 in the morning, so it is pretty early. My husband just left for work, so I don't know, it's exciting times. I'm gonna spend all day today basically reading, but so far so good. Very excited that I got to pick a book that is actually interesting to read. I'm so glad that I picked this up, and that my little TBR gamble hopefully isn't a fail this time around. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go do that, and then I will come back and update you once I am 2/3 of the way through this book.
To me, love isn't pain, I can't explain it. You make me do things I would never do. Acting like we're inside a movie. So kiss me before you go. I don't know a single word encapsulated how I feel. My sentences run off the page. You take cut by space. Decipher poetry when I can't think. 'Cause when I'm lying next to you, second guessing the moves I'm making, look into your eyes. Cover the loudness that's hiding inside. Take all you need, I'll be as take all you need.
So the reading sprints have been going great so far. I did take a nap in between, but I did do 30-minute reading, 30-minute editing, and now I'm about to journal for 30 minutes. And this is super exciting because recently updating my reading journal has just been such a drag. I haven't had the motivation to update it. I haven't had the motivation to be artistic or anything like that. And so I am super behind on my reading journal, and it being December, I need to catch up. The reason why I think I've been slacking off of my reading journal is because it is just such a hassle to take everything out and then put everything back. I have a lot of markers, pencils, pens, a lot of scrap paper, washi tapes, everything, all of that, you know, art materials. It's just, like I said, it's a hassle. It's too much to even think about, to take it all out and then just putting everything back in. So I think for that reason, I've been like avoiding it or putting it to the side. I haven't been really excited to journal. And usually I love journaling. Usually it's a hobby that I enjoy doing, but sometimes it can feel kind of like a chore, and I really don't like that. I don't want to force myself into doing that. And especially this time around where the new year is coming up, I'm usually really excited to start up another reading journal. Sometimes I will do a continuation of the one I currently have. I tend to have 2 years per reading journal. These are expensive journals, and I don't need to be buying a new one for every year, especially when I still have a lot of room, more than half of the journal left. And around this time of the year, I'm really excited to open up my new one in terms of like doing my trackers and updating everything, drawing out my ideas for these trackers for the coming year. And I haven't found myself excited to do that, and it's really sad because again, I love journaling, I love to do it. And so I came up with an idea. So the other day I was at Michael's with my husband, and I wanted to get a cart for all of the supplies because also it's kind of been like piling up, and I've been wanting to clean out all of my supplies. I didn't want to get the big cart that that crafters usually get. I got the one that readers get, the one I'm sure you've seen on Instagram or even other people's YouTube videos. Some people have a cart for their TBR pile. I decided to get that size. It's just 3 tiers. This has made it so much easier to just pull out whenever I want to journal, and on top of that, it was so fun to put it together, and I got it up to the point where it's perfect. Like, it has everything that I need. It's so easy to take out supplies and put back supplies. This is not all of the supplies that I have, by the way. I have many more, but these are the supplies that I mostly need to journal on my reading journal. So I'm gonna go ahead and show it to you guys. I'm so proud of this little cart that I made. I have motivated myself to get back into journaling. Again, I do need to catch up on this year's stuff, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. I will be doing that after I show you the cart. So let's go ahead without further ado and talk about the materials that I have for journaling. Okay, so starting with the very top tier, I have all of my markers, pens, pencils. So this container I got with flowers that my husband got for me on our anniversary. I tried fitting all of these markers into this bigger mason jar, but it did not work out. So the idea to put this in the cart didn't occur to me until I took out the flowers. They were already dead, and whenever I was washing the container, I figured this was perfect for all of my markers. These are just a Crayola Super Tip markers. It's a perfect container for all of them, and I also put the few Combo Fit pens that I have here. And then this little mason jar here, I have basically all the markers that I use for like outlining and stuff. I have a couple of jelly rolls here. I have the white one that I use very often as well. My favorite pen, which is the Papermate Inkjoy pen. I also use the Sharpie pen a lot. And I have these Stabilo pens as well. So these are just like for outlining. I have a pencil here. I use these quite a bit. I have another similar jar. These jars are from Slim Chickens, by the way. Every time that you get a dessert, you get them in a jar, and I just kept them. So this jar here is just some pencils that I use for sketching. I will use this in my sketchbook, and I will also use them to like sketch in my journal before I outline. And then this container here, I think I got this as well from flowers that my husband got me for Valentine's Day. I have my pair of scissors, and all of these markers are markers that I'm currently using. For some reason, the Crayola Super Tips don't have like a number on them, so you don't really know what color is what until you kind of do a swatch on a piece of paper. So for that reason, I have this jar here just because these markers are the ones that I'm using on current projects. So I also have this little baggie here. I actually got this from work a long time ago. I used to work at Home Goods, so this is just like a TJ Maxx rewards bag, but it's super big. It fits a lot of stuff. Here I have my little corner punch. I have just some erasers and glue. So this is just like some materials that I use as well. Again, I use these every day. Every time that I'm open up my journal, these are just materials that I'm going to use for sure. This is why they're on the top shelf. And then I do have some stencils here. I use the star for like my book ratings, and I also have this plug-in for my printer. So yes, this is everything from the top tier. So moving on to the second tier, I mostly have my journals here. This of course is my reading journal here, which I am going to take out because I'm about to use it. I have my sketch journal. I have just a random notebook that I like to just draw out some ideas if I have them. I have my stickers here for my planner. So I have this sticker sheet here, and then also the sticker set here. I have a couple of, I guess, Paper Studio papers. All the designs are on the front. I use these all the time. I also have this compass. I have not opened this yet, but I plan on using this if I ever need to draw some circles. I have this little mini paper cutter, and I have an extra set of Sharpie felt tip pens here for when I run out, because I do use these a lot. And then here I also got these little trays from Target so that I could put some sticker sheets on here. So these are singled out stickers that I have. I have this other container for memo pads, and then this last one here just has sticker sheets as well. So sticker sheets, memo pads, and then just some random stickers that I have laying around. So that was the second tier of the cart. Moving on to the last tier. Sorry if the lighting here is really bad, but just because it's at the very bottom. First, I have my container with all my washi tapes. I just slide that in there. I have way too many, so I have to keep them in this big container here. Underneath the container, I have this file folder where I keep all of the paper scraps that I have. I usually get these little sheets of paper from like the craft store. I will keep all of the scraps here. Like for example, this I already used, and I will just kind of fold it back up and put it in there. Here's another scrap that I used a while ago. just in case I need to use it again. Some more scraps, I usually either rip them out to just kind of give them that aesthetic, or I will neatly cut them. Really just depends on what I'm going for. And then underneath the file folder, I have my printer. This is just like a mini printer, a Canon printer. This is like a very portable one, and it fits perfectly here. I use the printer to print out like images that I want to put on my reading journal, and I also use this to print covers of the books that I've read. I like to paste them on my reading journal as well. So yeah, that is basically the top materials that I use when I'm working on my reading journal. And again, this has helped me so much to kind of feel more motivated to just take this out, you know, use what I need and then just put it back and then roll it back into where I usually keep it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just journal away.
To me, love isn't pain, I can't explain it. You make me do things I would never do. Acting like we're inside a movie. So kiss me before you go. I don't know a single word encapsulated how I feel. My sentences run off the page. You take up my space. Decipher poetry when I can't think. 'Cause when I'm lying next to you, second guessing the moves I'm making, look into your eyes. Cover the loudness that's hiding inside. Take all you need, hobbyist guys. Take all you need, I've had it's been fine. Take all you need, hobbyist guys. Take all you need, don't cost me dice. Take us
Okay, so time for a quick update. I did get to page 248, which is the second third of this book, and so far so good. I am loving this pick. I'm so glad that I picked it up. In this update, we have reached the climax, we've reached the conflict, and we're starting to get a little bit of the resolution. The main character is going through it. It's kind of her fault though. At this point, our main character is literally screaming to get her point across, to be heard, and nobody is listening. Nobody is paying any attention to her. She's just trying to get this story through because of the fact that she's a recovering addict, and so that kind of like makes people not think that she's in her right mind. You as the reader, you don't know yourself either. You don't know if she really is imagining these things or if they're really happening. So as the reader, you're kind of in between. You don't know what to believe. The conflict is just really good. You can tell that the main character really cares about Teddy, the 4-year-old. She really just cares about his well-being. She has involved herself into this mystery, and she is like deep in this story that she's trying to resolve. She's trying to get to the bottom of it. So I'm excited to see what the pictures are trying to reveal, where the story is going to go, how the conflict is going to get resolved. I really think that I'm going to either finish this tonight or by tomorrow morning, and will definitely have my last thoughts on it for sure. I'm excited because tomorrow is Christmas Eve. We Hispanics, we tend to celebrate on the 24th, not the 25th. So I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm gonna go to my parents' house, have some family time, and I feel like finishing this book is going to give me a nice feeling of accomplishment and get me in a good mood. So yeah, we'll be back for another update. I have really good feeling about this book. Okay, so it is a few days later. No surprise there. Finished the book, but I am barely filming the outro of this vlog because Christmas happened and I just got lazy. But here it is, my final thoughts on Hidden Pictures. I ended up really loving this book. I gave it a 5 stars. This book was quite gripping and it just had me from the start. I really liked the ending. I really enjoyed it. The twist in this, I was not expecting. The route that this book went with, again, was not expecting it. It was very just not what I thought. Sorry, I just got done filming 3 videos. I filmed top 10 books of 2023. What? I filmed the top 10 books of 2022. I filmed my December wrap up and I filmed my January TBR. So I am at this point out of words. I have talked way too much to myself in this very lonely apartment. So I'm going crazy. Anyways, I enjoyed it. Basically, I do recommend this book. Also, I didn't talk about how much I loved the quality of this book. Like, just holding it was like, I felt fancy. I felt like I have lots of money, even though this book was only $5. I don't know how I got it in this great deal. Gave this a 5 stars because how interactive it was with the pictures throughout the book. Really enjoyed them. Yes, I would really recommend this book. I recommend you pick it up if you are looking for a thriller, mystery, paranormal, ghost story. So that is it. That is all that I have for this vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am so glad that this vlog ended the way that it did. I'm so glad that the die picked a really good book. I'm glad that I decided to try it again after devastatingly reading Milk Fed. If you want to support my channel, you can comment down below the last thriller book that you've read. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Also, if you would like to support my channel but do not know what to comment, you can comment the knife emoji down below as well. That would really help and support my channel. Go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up, and if you are enjoying my content so far and want to see more from me, you can also hit the subscribe button down below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. It really means the world to me, and I will see you in my next one.